Apprentices and acolytes, let's talk about the leaks and the Kenobi sizzle. Ready up.
Ready up. My destiny.
Fam, it has been a crazy week, and you know what's going on if you follow my social media. It was a nuts day yesterday, but we're here and we're giving you the Star Wars goodness that you deserve. Let's go! Disney Plus Day was a little weird, and I don't want to say that it was a disappointment, but at the same time, I think a lot of us were very excited for way more news. Kind of like a plethora of announcements, maybe even extensions on Endor or the Ahsoka series and the Mandalorian. And everybody was expecting, of course, something from the Kenobi series. But what we did get was the behind-the-scenes sizzle reel, which unfortunately was leaked the day before. Now, I'm not really big into leaks. I do not like leaks, and I always try to avoid them. And it's very hard these days because sometimes you find leaks or get spoiled by YouTube recommendations or someone on social media, a mutual or a peer. The main thing that I want to talk about is how production and businesses, especially like Star Wars as a franchise, how do they deal with leaks? Now, it seems like there was a lot of evidence from a couple of community creators and accounts that pretty much were ready for a whole full trailer of the Kenobi. I don't know how true that is, and I'm not going to claim that rumors are true, or I'm not going to believe that the dude trusts me, not that they are. But at the same time, too, we did get something. And a lot of people were pretty underwhelmed by the amount of Star Wars that was released. And I'm not really a big Marvel fan, but it did make me envious of all those Marvel fans that got so many announcements and so many TV series and Disney Plus series that are going to be released within the next year or two. I gotta say, yeah, you know, it stinks. But at the same time, too, oh man, a couple years ago, I was all but homeless. I wasn't necessarily living in a park, but I did carry all of my belongings on my person. And, you know, sometimes I couldn't even eat at all in the day. And I look at what happened with Disney Plus. And yes, of course, I'm very excited to see more things, and I want that. But at the same time, too, things could be so much worse. And I'm not making excuses for anything, because I feel like Lucasfilm does have a couple things that they need to improve, whether it's production in movies or just to, you know, announce more video games at the same time too. I have my issues, but I still remain very excited, very focused on being passionate and enthusiastic about Star Wars projects, because that is my purpose as a creator, because I want to show you that there's still people excited for Star Wars, no matter how little, no matter how much. And at the end of the day, yeah, you know, the sizzle reel, while leaked, it was also the only thing we got for Star Wars. And that's okay. You know, it's all right. Hopefully, in the next year, we have Book of Boba Fett. Hopefully, May 4th can be something. This year wasn't necessarily a great year for Star Wars, especially if you want and love movies and live action. I can understand with that sentiment and disappointment, because yes, it is true. But at the same time too, we are very fortunate in these times to have things to look forward to. I'm very happy to have a roof over my head, and I'm very happy to have internet access and to watch Star Wars and afford to pay for Disney Plus, especially where I came from. That's about it, fam, that I really have to say about the leaks and the Disney Plus Day. Really not a lot of information to talk about, and it's sad that we still are just waiting in the dark, hoping for the next series to be announced or the next movie. Man, I really wanted them to confirm the Star Wars Old Republic rumors that are going around, but I guess we'll just have to wait. A couple videos ago, I actually mentioned how the Rogue Squadron movie, which is the director, of course, of the Wonder Woman movies, apparently that was going to be put on the shelf and that was going to be put on hold. So, at the moment, I feel like there really isn't a lot of Star Wars movies to look forward. But then there's a lot of rumors going around that Rian Johnson's trilogy is also put on the shelf, and indefinitely. And I don't know if that's just people trying to start drama, because at the same time too, I don't really feel like we really know what's happening behind Lucasfilm. I mean, there's so many YouTube channels that have been bent on the objective of letting their fan base know that Kathleen Kennedy is going to be fired, and clearly that's not going to be happening anytime soon, because while there are people disgruntled about the sequel trilogies, all those movies still made $1 billion. You know, I get it, I understand it. Totally feel for anybody that isn't really in tune with what Disney is doing and they want to see other things done. But at least with Disney, we have a lot of opportunities. I don't think it's right to judge right now. I don't even think Lucasfilm has really had their opportunity or time to really get everything off the ground and establish themselves yet. Yeah, the sequel trilogy was created, but man, I mean, I feel like we're just getting started with Star Wars content. I mean, when a decade goes by, 10 years of Lucasfilm and Disney doing their thing, I really feel like there's going to be so much more than we already have. The complications or the restrictments working in this era of COVID, and you know, there's strikes, and then there's creative differences, and then there's scrutiny and rumors, and then of course you also have to deal with leaks. I can't imagine, and I do not have the brain capacity to pretend like I have a solution to all of that. I feel like we're never really truly going to know what has happened with the sequel trilogy as well as all these movies getting put on hold until someone comes out who is that director or that person at Lucasfilm and literally writes a book or has an interview or a biography about the difficulties and the struggles of all of this conflicting to produce material that we know and love and want to see. I will say that, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of disappointment for this year in Star Wars, you know, whether it's video games, movies, you name it, of course. There really hasn't been a lot of stuff to look forward to. But I still feel like at the end of the day, Star Wars is Star Wars, and no matter what happens, we're always going to be excited for it. So sit tight, ready up, I guarantee ya. Something's gonna happen. We got Book of Boba Fett coming out on the 29th. Hey fam, and it's just getting started, all right? Thanks so much for watching this video. I love you all. I'll see you around. And don't worry, there's still lots of stuff happening here, all right? I'll see you around. Deuces, fam. Let's go.